Sometimes, when sailing these proverbial high seas, I think of a sea shanty that goes something like, "Get thee comfortable, ye French studio of the sea, for we should, certainly, get comfortable with piracy." Okay, so I really just wanted to start a video with something kind of goofy because nothing is going to outdo the goofiness that Ubisoft is displaying right now. God damn! Alright, while whatever I'll be putting in the background keeps happening, let me run a gauntlet real quick on Ubisoft. Ubisoft lost $500 million last year, and with surprisingly slower sales, they decided to enact a $200 million cost-cutting program with a focus on natural attrition and divesting of non-core assets, which of course meant a whole bunch of layoffs. The CEO, Yves Guillemot, put the blames on their employees by simply saying that the ball is in your court. Naturally, that did not win him any favors, and he later on went on record being like, "I'm sorry that you perceive it this way, but regarding the rest of what I said, I'm not apologizing." This man wasn't even afraid of his employees doing the French thing, being protesting. No, it's protest, that's what they do. This is the same Ubisoft that jumped harder on NFTs than Square Enix ever did last year. Fortunately for them, they are a company too big to literally fail. Same studio was losing their mind when Baldur's Gate was setting new standards for... I'm sorry, I need a correction there. Not setting new standards, just reinvigorating the past standard of what RPGs are supposed to be. Essentially repeating the same nonsense that they did a year prior when the opinion of some of the devs was being dunked on regarding Elden Ring. And even more crazy, last year they came under scrutiny when supposedly they had a system built in that would have deleted the ownership of games from accounts that were inactive. Luckily for them, the misinformation did not get the chance to spread, since they themselves came forth and corrected the fact that they were simply adhering to the European standard, at least the one put forth by EU's General Data Protection Regulation, on how companies are permitted to store individual personal information. And yes, while they do delete an inactive account, they do not touch the ones that have game attached to them or bought on a given account. That never happened. And that's it, right? The one would think that with all of this thing that happened last year, they would have turned on a new leaf and start the year with something light. Of course they didn't. They came back in strength with even more buffoonery. This year, following the trend of CEOs that wanted to monetize ammo and install taxes to screw up developers, or even better, the case of Take-Two Interactive's CEO who wants to have GTA 6 and games onwards to be paid for by the hour.
Are you stupid or something?
Ubisoft has now come under scrutiny for seemingly wanting gamers to not be comfortable with owning their games. Well, at least it is being reported as such, whereas the real title should be Ubisoft execs wants gamers to embrace subscription services. And yeah, let's be totally honest, it's going to lead to the former. Now, let us actually read what the man said so that I don't get his statement wrong. Now, because Ubisoft was once again rebranding themselves and relaunching the subscription service in the same way that they keep on doing with the logos every year, the new Ubisoft Plus Premium and Ubisoft Plus Classic subscription had to be explained, and done so by none other than the head of the subscription department, Philippe Tremblay. Oui, il est en train de trembler maintenant. Who highlighted the need for a shift in consumer mindset, drawing parallels to the evolution of owning physical DVDs to the convenience of streaming services. Consumers got comfortable not owning their CD collection or DVD collection. That's a transformation that's been a bit slower to happen. As gamers grow comfortable, you don't lose your progress. If you resume your game at another time, the progress file is still there. That's not been deleted. You don't lose what you've built in the game or your engagement with the game. So it's about feeling comfortable with not owning your game.
You serious?
Something that made my 90s kids' minds, and perhaps a bunch of you also, think about sites like Napster. You know, the site that you use to get your friend's big brother to download music for you. Or, I know there's some boomer who's going to comment in the comment section that in my time we were using cassettes. And you know what? That's fine, but we're talking about Napster right now. Now, Napster was one of those sites that most likely inspired the whole downfall of the music industry for a certain while. Because of the rampant piracy that site created, many were thinking that the music industry was going to die, and inadvertently this resulted in the creation of music streaming services as we know them today. And while sites like Napster did affect music, that evolved later on into movies, to books, and now we are observing something similar for video games. And when we're talking about subscription services, let's be totally honest, a lot of us are enjoying the hell out of it. When we're talking about stuff like Game Pass, holy shit, how the hell is that thing even profitable? Man, it's a steal. I'm betting that a lot of you have been enjoying many games through such subscription service. Even Epic, while definitely not being profitable, has been giving up a lot of games every single week. And some of them are even ranging between the AA and the AAA level of quality. And literally the biggest argument that I can make for such services is just how easy it aids one to get into the ecosystem of gaming. You don't need to engage in the console war, nor do you have to be exclusively part of the PC master race to get access to newer titles. And with the rise of game prices that are now at $60 to $70 and freaking GTA 6 that is said to be $150, what the fuck is that? They are still rather affordable, even for those who are going to make the argument that regional prices isn't taken into account. I know for certain countries that does not count. Australia, I'm looking at you, and Brazil, yeah, I know. But generally speaking, a lot of it's actually reasonable, and the way that the prices are getting discounted allows you to have a lot more accessibility to titles that you might never have had originally. And now I know what a lot of you are thinking, like, what are you, a fanboys with these people? Are you sucking up to them? Are you a Ubicock? I don't even know if people are saying that. But no, I'm not specifically a fan of either of them. I've actually grown to quite hate Ubisoft with a passion. Like, get that game out of my sight, skull and bone my ass. While I can dislike when they fumble, I can also appreciate when they put out good content. Like, for example, look at this thing here. Like, look at the flora in here. It's so freaking luscious and beautiful. Look at the fauna. Look at that creature over there. Doesn't it just make you want to turn into a space David Attenborough, talking about the majesty of finding a wild acorn in its natural habitat? And where the fuck was I going with this? Yeah, movie, TV services have done something similar. They've given out a lot of convenience. The problem is that when these services are shipping with some exclusive that frankly we're all going to enjoy but are locked and become gatekept, when a freaking car does not come with heating and you need to apply for a subscription service to get that every single month. And especially when even the freaking software that I'm going to be editing this video on and making a thumbnail on lose the perpetual license and adopt the subscription service, you can't help yourself from being scared that you are going to lose the things that you are supposed to own. They all get gatekept with their tier system and different subscription services that, oh, you can't pay for this, here's some freaking ads, and perhaps even worse, let us take the service away from you. Like, listen, you don't have to follow everything gaming related to see where the natural next step for this is going to be when you translate those practices onto the gaming scene. For example, as part of the Microsoft acquisition that recently happened, Ubisoft is allowed to distribute some of their games. You get Ubisoft Classic if you have PlayStation Plus. Like, all of these micro alliances that they keep on making, in tandem with the constant push for digital ownership only, is so similar to the streaming services that we've already observed that it is obvious that they are going to try to do something worse than what we are already experiencing. And remember what I said with software in perpetuity? Well, that stuff is just going to disappear. Like, there was a time on the channel where I actually wanted to have a little bit of a focus on digital artistry when I wanted to make some 3D models and stuff like that using a program from Maxon, the company that has Cinema 4D, this modeling and animation software. Now they completely changed their services, removed the program that I actually had, and gatekept that behind a subscription service that not only had Cinema 4D but also took away Redshift, as well as a bunch of other rendering engines that they now are locking behind a paywall. Like, something like that is so fucking shitty, and I absolutely hate it. And it's so crazy because you like had a physical copy, of course, a CD, but you also had your key on it that you could just install. Sure, you could back up things, which is also super important. Backing up your physical copy in a digital form is also very nice because I cannot tell you how many titles of certain video games that I I wish that I had done that with the Onimusha games that I never got to play. Ninja Gaiden got lost in time. Luckily, Steam has something for that. And last year, if it wasn't for the chats in my Discord, I would not have tried some of the old Armored Core games in preparation for Armored Core 6. And when it comes to gaming, it is getting really scary because you have so many amazing titles that you are never going to have in a physical form. Alan Wake 2, a game that I absolutely enjoyed and loved. You cannot get that in a physical copy. Luckily, other games out there allow you to do that with a special edition, but then again, you need to put in more money because development costs are just so high today. Now, I know that the natural answer for many people is going to be that, well, if digital ownership isn't ownership, then piracy isn't actually bad. I don't even know if that is how the saying is, but I'm pretty sure that like the most voted up comment is going to be the right way of saying it. But seriously, I can understand that people are going to resort to that because when you have companies like Capcom who are inevitably going to add DRMs already to the titles that you already own, for anti-cheat purposes they say, but they actually do affect the performances of your game, you are going to be forced to do that because you don't trust them. And that is the weirdest thing that I do not understand with a lot of these companies. Like, they are supposed to have a good relationship with the customers, but every single time that they put something good, again, I know that some people may clown on this, but I freaking love Avatar, okay? It is a beautiful game. It is actually a very good and well-running game. It might not be your thing, but obviously if you like the Far Cry kind of look of things, you're going to enjoy it. My point is, for every single good product that Ubisoft might be putting out there, the business department goes like, ha, fuck no, we're gonna make people hate us for this. But why? Because we're Ubisoft. It is super messed up, but do I have a solution for it? No. But with the convenience of streaming services and that of video game retailers and digital stores, I think that the best thing that we can do is, as the term always gets put forth there, vote with our dollars. Yes, I know, sometimes that does not serve that big of a purpose with the likes of EA, the Madden series and FIFA. People are still going to spend a lot of money there because, well, that is how it goes. Gamers have voted with their dollars and they want microtransactions when it comes to those type of things. While you and I watching this right now might not be a fan of those, there are a bunch out there that still enjoy the hell out of it. But I think that voting with our dollar will imply that we do not spend money nor subscribe to platforms like Ubisoft Plus if they actually decide to enact such things. And in the rare case that you have a developer who is bound to one such publisher, find a digital store that actually allows you to keep your things in perpetuity. Like, I know this is going to take quite some time from, let's say, AAA titles and perhaps some AA ones, but GOG Galaxy. God damn, I know that I only own so few titles and the latest one that I bought in it was Rogue Trader, but yeah, that is one of the ways to go with this. And support indie developers. God damn, I don't know how many times I need to say that. They are the ones who are going to show the industry that this is not the way to go. One of the points that one could actually use against these companies with regards to the physical ownership ordeal is that in 2020, some researchers ended up in Lancaster, I think, Lancaster University, where they found out that there would be like a 30% increase in gaming carbon emission if gamers actually were to adopt cloud gaming at the time, and that by the year of 2023 it would rise up to like 112%. Pretty crazy. If we were all to like transition, or at least I think like it was 90% were to like transition to cloud gaming. And obviously there are some runners who are not going to be partaking in that, like freaking Google, who even fumbled that when people were locked in the pandemic inside all day. How do you do that? But Microsoft, who has gone woke, and by woke I mean decided to go more green, freaking dumb story, and Sony are likely going to be the ones who are contending for that. But yeah, these have been my thoughts on this whole thing of Ubisoft fumbling thing and a lot of other companies most likely wanting to adopt a similar model. Yeah, spend your money well, buy more indies. Don't fuck with developers that you don't necessarily like, even though they have a title that might seem very enticing. Like, I know the Blue Man Group that I have right here behind me, I got this one for free, so yeah, can't really complain. And yeah, that's it. Wish you all to have a wonderful day. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And yeah, I might be putting a bit too much effort into talking about this subject, or at least editing a video about it. Anyways, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. See ya.